We did it on purpose, obviously. We wanted a change, you know. We wanted just a change of scenery, really, and we got very used to the studio there, also the team of people we were working with, so we wanted a complete change. And we'd heard about Puck in Denmark for some time and wanted to go there. And we finally had a chance to go there, along with other studios for this album.
But does it also mean that the Berlin period is now completely over for the band? I mean all the metallic sounds and the 2009 bottom influence and so on.
The Berlin, you know, that's not how we look at it. See, when we record an album, we go to the studio, which we like to work in, and it just so happened that Berlin, it was a good studio. We were taken there by an engineer called Gareth Jones to mix a single, and we liked it there and decided to do the rest of the album. And basically, every year after that, we just decided to go back there because it was the easy way out, really. And we couldn't find anywhere else that was suitable. See, we work a lot in the control room, and we have to have a big control room. And there's not many studios with big control rooms in the world. And as Alan said, Puck is one of the newer ones, which caters for bands like us.
I think generally speaking, yes. You know, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. I mean, there's tedious moments and times when you think, oh, we've done this so many times, you know. And you're always trying to improve your whole working system so you can enjoy it more and more.
I think we've made things, although our workload is a lot heavier, I think we've made things easier for ourselves by picking and choosing a bit more with the sort of things we want to do. And obviously it gets harder every time, you know, to do that with every record. But and the same thing with touring, you know. At the moment we're touring a lot. We haven't really stopped touring for 7 years, which is not many bands that do that. You find bands like us that maybe tour once every 3 years. We've toured virtually every year, and hopefully that, I think in the future that'll be something that maybe slows down.
I think that you are the only or the biggest money maker on Nuit. And don't you think that sometimes Daniel Miller is looking for a mug to bring money to finance other artists like Diamanda Gallas, Crime and the City Solution, or the ones?
I think it was true to say that we have financed Nuit for some time, although I don't think it so much applies now. But I don't believe that Daniel's motives are the ones that you're implying. You know, I think he truly believes in our music, and we have a very close relationship with Daniel based on friendship and trust. And so I think it's unfair to suggest really that that's his motive, you know.
I don't think he'd be at all happy if you actually asked him that question. In fact, he'd probably hit you.
Daniel has even been described as the 5th member of Depeche Mode a couple of years ago. Is it still true today?
Well, it's not as true as it was at one point, because you know, until this album he'd worked with us on everything we'd ever done. But with this album, he just popped in like once every couple of weeks just to see how things were going, really, and help out on a sound here and there. So it's not as true today as it was, you know, with the albums in the past.
Do you like yours, Alan?
I do like cars. I like old cars particularly as well. I don't really like the modern car very much. I'm a particular fan of the Citroën DS23. I have one of those myself, and I think it's a real classic design. My favourite car, I think. This place is fantastic. Brilliant car.
You have time to drive in
Not very much time, but, you know, when I'm at home, a bit of drive. I only recently passed my driving test.
Berry 75. The number plate. Seen the plate? See it?
I don't know why.
Maybe Brian Ferry's.
You're really into cars, especially Porsche.
Yeah.
Why did you get that?
I just think it's just a brilliant sports car, you know, especially the old 56 956 model. It's just fast, and you know, it suits my purposes perfectly. You know. I drive a 911 Targa at the moment, which is a good car. They're just so good, you know. I mean, if you can afford it, you know, if you've got the money, you know, why pay for something that's just not so good, you know? I mean, I spend a lot of money on cars, and I collect models as well of Porsche. I have about 120, maybe to 150 small model cars, from very old to very new. Some of them I paid from anything from £5 to £200 for a small antique model.
Is it a very old dream of teenager to have a Porsche, a really Porsche?
The old one, yeah. I have a real one, but I'd like to one day be able to buy one like this and maybe work on it myself and build it up.
And it's a dream of a kid to have.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And with Depeche Mode, you could buy it.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe possible, yeah. But I don't get enough time to drive it.
Martin, you're a songwriter, singer. Have you ever thought of running for a solo career?
A solo career is something that maybe will interest me one day when I have a bit more time. But because of my commitment to Depeche Mode, I don't have time to even think about things like that. But maybe one day.
And producing or songwriting for other artists or other bands. Have you ever thought of this?
At the moment, that's something that really doesn't interest me. I really like writing songs, but when I write them, I think I like to record them. And ones that I'm not happy with, I think it's stupid for me to give those to other people.
Martin L. Gore, what is the L for?
It's pretty deep. The L in my name stands for Lee.
As you compose all the songs for the band, you are often described as the leader of Depeche Mode. Do you agree with that idea, to be the leader of the band?
No, that question is often asked. I'm often asked the question, am I the leader of the band? But it's not true at all. I write the songs, and after that, it's we're a total democracy. I'm really weak as a person, so the others get their way a lot more than I do.
Have you tried to write lyrics or to compose?
Yeah, I mean, I write occasionally myself. I'm not nowhere near as prolific as Martin, but I think there's no real big egos in the band. No one feels that they must be up front. We all feel that Martin's songs are very good, and when he comes to us with his songs, it's very rare that we don't like them. If we don't, then we talk about them and maybe improve them. If we don't like a lyric, we won't use the song. But when I write myself, I feel at the moment my songs aren't good enough to put forward to the band. I feel that I'm still learning, and maybe my songs aren't right for Depeche Mode at the moment. Maybe they're right for David Garn, but not for Depeche Mode. And at the moment, I've no plans to do anything on my own. So because we're too busy, and we're happy as we are. So maybe in the future they maybe surface.
The ultimate electronic cliché is probably the vocoder, but Depeche Mode has never used a vocoder. Would you accept to perform through a vocoder?
Not really, because I think we're different in that way. I feel that it's important to have the hard electronic sound with the real voice, to have it with. That's what's important about Depeche Mode, is the fact that it's a very emotional band, and the songs are very real. All the songs are written about things that are very real, and it's not superficial. We use electronics, but the music is not superficial at all. It's real and it's emotional, and a lot of that emotion comes across obviously in a voice.
Done two great songs on Some Great Reward, The Landscape Is Changing and 2 Minutes Warning, and now we are not songwriting anymore. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel that I am a natural songwriter, So whenever I did write songs before, it was because people said you should write songs, and I kind of forced it out of me, and I was never really happy with any of the songs I wrote. So really, I've just decided that unless something really comes to me, I'm not going to bother. I don't, feel this great desire to write songs. And Martin is what I would call a natural songwriter. He's quite prolific. He has a lot of. For example, when I started writing a song, I would always start from maybe a bass line or a rhythm. He never does that. He always has the melody and the words there. The words for me are very difficult. So, I just don't do it.
But you have recorded a solo album.
Yes, I have. Some instrumental music, really, which, when I get the chance, a bit of free time at home, then it's something I like to do. It gives me a chance to work on ideas that maybe I can't do within the group. And being with Mute, it gives you the opportunity to do other things without feeling some great pressure. I don't find it's no problem really, to do the two things. So.
Have you got plans for another album in that style, or it was just
I've actually recorded? No, I've recorded another one, which will hopefully be released later on in the year.
Under the same name?
Yeah.
And there are 3 keyboard players. Have you got a specific part when you are in the studio for each one? And what's yours?
Well, not really, not in the studio. We don't really play too much in the studio, using mostly computers and things, sequencers. And Alan's probably the best, he is the best keyboard player. So if there's any parts to be played in the studio, it's mostly him that does them.
And what's your part?
Well, in the studio?
Yeah, a specific part.
I basically lounge around, drinking coffee.
You're the more discreet member of the band. Are you really a shy boy?
Not really. I'm in my social circle. I'm not discreet at all. Perhaps I find it hard to make friends. You know, I don't think of myself as being discreet at all. You know.
Are you still supporting the Chelsea football team?
Of course, yes. Doing very well this season. We've won 3 of our first 5 games.
Last question. Who is your favourite member in Depeche Mode?
Myself.
Favourite member? Oh, that's, I don't have a favourite member. We're all friends,
It's a very difficult question, but if I have to answer it, I probably would have to say Andy, because I went to school with Andy. I've known him since I was about 11 or 12, and we've been going out together for years. Going out together, that sounds bad, doesn't it? We've known each other for a long time.
Well, that's difficult. I could tell you my worst. No, I don't know. I suppose Alan, in a way, I get on with Alan probably the best, I think. We all get on well together, but if we're out together, we go drinking together, I probably would sit with Alan or at a restaurant. Andy's very close to Martin. They've been friends since school, so they're still very close friends, in a big way. But we're all very friendly together, and that's one of their main strengths, is that Depeche Mode are friends, and that's why we've stayed together, for 7 years, and hopefully we'll have another 7 years.